Okay, today we are heading off to the National Motorcycle Museum. Before we start, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you don't already, please hit that subscribe button just below, just down there. Thanks. Okay, we've arrived at the National Motorcycle Museum. I have to give you full disclosure here. I forgot to pick up the camera. Yeah, my bad. So we're going to have to use my phone today to get the video. So if it isn't the best quality, I do apologise. It's entirely my fault for forgetting to pick the camera up. I put the bag ready to pick up and then I didn't pick it up. But luckily we do have the phone, so we shall see you inside. John's having
a 1910 of a bat, and it's a 500cc. This one's going into auction, and the estimate is between 25 and 30,000. It's one of only 33 that's known to still exist. It's a 2-speed version, and it was restored in the 1980s, and it's been with the same owner since 1955. It's got its pioneer certificate. You know when they do the London and Brighton run? Go on, you can. Oh, you're going to do it. I just knew it.
It woke me off.
Can you feel the workings now? And as you're going down, that's all brass that you're touching.
These are your wires.
Yeah, yeah. This one's a 1912. It's a Wilkinson TMC. Now it's on a plinth. Can you just have your hand? And it's got a gas light, this one is.
Oh, yeah, go around this way. Oh gosh, okay. Now, oh no, now look at that. This is a really comfy seat here.
It is, yeah. With this one, you won't be able to get to the back because there's another bike right behind it, but you can go 2/3 around. But if you can I have your hand again? If you bring your hand down to here, these are the gears.
They're a bit jammed, aren't they?
Yeah, just a little bit. Can I have your hand again? If you come down, there's the pedals.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you really...
Yeah.
Because Sue was saying, you were really just like a regular bike.
Yeah, yeah. But it's very old, this one. And as I say, it has got, it's got the gas lamp. Super Sport 3-wheeler. It's a matchless, which means it's part car, part motorbike.
Oh my gosh. Let's see, what's this?
That's just like the little discs that we put on them so that we can identify them. But that's more of a 2-seater, that one is.
So you get
but there isn't an actual door.
Oh my gosh, there is.
Yeah, yeah.
How old is this?
This one.
Look inside. So this one doesn't have a door. You'd have to climb in. And I think you need to be really, really nimble to climb in there. And have a small bum. So that's me out on both counts.
Yeah.
To climb in there.
What a really neat idea.
Now, will you be able to?
I can, yes.
Yeah.
Just, that's it. You're over.
If you sit still.
It's all fun and games until something eventually gets caught. Oh my gosh.
Just try and keep still because it's only just on things.
Oh, the gears here, wow.
Yeah.
Now, how old is this bike?
That one is 1946 and it's an AJS model 18.
Look at all this, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say, look at all this room.
There is quite a lot of room.
There is, although it seems like it'd be a one-seater. Oh, sorry.
It is a one-seater.
Yeah, it is a one-seater, yeah.
It's a well padded seat though for those of us with a big bum.
No, I've noticed as well. There's two sets of brakes. You have these brakes here.
It's the same as bicycles. One does the front wheel, one does the rear.
Yeah, but if you have two brakes, you have the left one here. But wait, this should be the throttle, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you've got one with the throttle, and obviously you've got your brakes as well.
So this would be your throttle there.
That's like, yeah.
That's a
You
really
should
bad
be able
motorcycle
to twist this
impersonation.
grip, you twist that one. That's your throttle, that one.
Oh, okay.
That's your throttle. That should, I think that's your choke. If the cold starts,
Ah,
Oh, okay.
you pull that to start it while it's cold. When it's warmed up, you let that go.
Hang on, so you pull this to start it?
you pull it up.
You pull it up when it's cold, so it gives it more fuel. And when it's got started, then you would release that.
Okay. And how do you start it? Or would this
Is
be?
this a kickstart, this one?
I think
Oh,
it is.
okay. And the kick. That's
it's
Yeah,
back.
there's a kick,
Kickstart.
yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. And then obviously these are your gears.
Yeah.
How fast could you actually go if you're going full speed?
It doesn't actually
It
say.
doesn't say on this one.
But it was a common sight on Britain's roads in the 50s.
So I'd imagine probably about the same speed as a car then.
Probably. I
If
can't,
it was a 350, I would think it would do about 60 mile an hour, 60 maximum, 60, 70 mile an hour.
Oh yeah, so it's not that much different than your average car now, is it?
Well, cars go
Well, they
fast.
go really fast now, don't they?
Well, but they shouldn't be going really fast.
That's true.
Right there.
We're inside the museum. It's got, is it 5 halls?
Yes.
So this is hall 1, which is 60 glorious years. So here we've got one from 1898, which is basically like, it's like a bike seat. It's got 4 wheels, and then there's a little seat at the front, made by Royal Enfield.
Well, like that one would be good because you keep your balance.
This one is from 1902, and it's got a seat with the seat back on it, and it's got 1 wheel at the back and 2 at the front, and it's got another seat to sit on. So that these all here, these ones here rather, are all a very sort of similar style. In fact, these ones here, not only have they got a seat like a bike, but they've got handlebars like a bike.
That's probably where you steer from.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying. And the little seat at the front, 1904 again. No seat belts, obviously, if you're sitting on the front seat. So if your person riding the motorbike stops suddenly, you're going to go flying out. This one's quite novel because the seat at the front is like, it's made of wicker. So it's almost a bit like basket weaving. We've got one here that is essentially, it's made by Singer from 1902. It is essentially like a cycle, but I'm guessing it's got, yes, it's motorised. The motor's on the back wheel, round there. So these ones are just like cycles with motors, really.
It really is a motorcycle.
Look at this Premier one here from 1912. You can see it's got pedals on just like a cycle.
Oh wow.
Slightly wider seat than a cycle though, so you perhaps wouldn't get so much of a numb bum. Hopefully. So as we're going round this way, we're getting to 1914 here with these ones, and the horns on them are like bicycle horns with the bulbous bit that you just squeeze and go toot toot. Yeah, that's a better version. So we're moving through the 20s here. Still got the same sort of seats. They kind of bicycle seats that they got, and they've got space at the back, some of them, to carry luggage or whatever. As we're getting further into like the mid 1920s, they're getting bigger. They're getting quite a bit bigger now. But the actual wheels themselves are still quite similar to cycles. Yeah, cycles. So I don't know what sort of speed they'd do. This one here is a 1927, and it's a 1000cc engine. It's quite big for a motorbike, especially in 1927. So that had the potential to go quite fast.
I just realised that the motorcycle has been around longer than the car, hasn't it?
I don't know. Zenith, 1928. That's a 680cc one. I like the kind of purple on it, I do. Some of these names you associate more with bicycles now. This is a rally motorbike, 1931 model.
How much it would cost to get one of these back in 1931 and 29?
I don't know. Doesn't tell you how much they'd have cost those days. Notice the seats on these are now, they still look like bicycle seats, but they're bigger, so you've got a bit more room to spread your bum cheeks. See, I'm obsessed with my bum being comfortable, have you noticed? Here it says it's British SOS, so obviously superior. That's what it says, British SOS, so obviously superior, from 1936. And here from these 1937 ones here, these two Rudges, they have like a perch at the back for a passenger. So the rider's got this lovely big seat that's like a cycle seat again. And the passenger's got like this little rectangular cushion to perch on.
How much higher is the perch than?
It isn't.
Oh, it's the same.
And
height,
it just basically looks like it's on the mudguard.
Oh.
Even as we're heading into the 40s, this is from 1946, this one. This one says USA on it, John.
Oh, okay.
They still have these kind of bicycle type seats. We're just heading through the 40s here. We come here, we've got the 1950s, so this is the early 50s, and you see they've still got these kind of bicycle seats. And then as we move to the mid 50s, so we've got 1954 onwards, they're kind of the more modern style of seat that we're used to seeing now. We're just heading through the 50s here. We've got this one from 1959, I like that. It's a nice red one. So 1959, 650cc BSA A10R Super Rocket. Rorty Road Burner.
That sounds quite impressive.
It does, it looks impressive too. I like that one. I like that one. A 1951 500cc Vincent Comet Touring Series C. I like the colour, it's red and it's got a nice whitish seat. 2 Hall 2, and these are military cycles. So this motorcycle, this was from 1914 to 1918, and it's a machine gun sidecar machine. So you've got somebody riding the motorbike, somebody in the sidecar, which is quite a big sidecar, and it has a machine gun attached to the front of it.
So I would imagine the person who's driving is also shooting.
Well, obviously not, no, they're riding, aren't they? And then the person in the sidecar has got the rifle. There's another one here that's similar from 1939. So it's called a Warhorse with 2-wheel drive. A Norton Big 4 military outfit. Complete with a little teddy bear on the front called James. And on this side, we've just got some more military motorcycles, but these don't have sidecars. They're green. And they've got panniers on the back. These are from the 40s. These ones are. And then here we've got some police ones. So this one's from the 80s. Now, this is American. It says Police Department, City of New York. And on the screen at the front it says 101 NYC Police. So you can see that there. Here's another one. Oh, hang on, I've got mixed up. Oh no, okay, this NYC one, I looked at the wrong label. This one is from the late 50s. There we go. I was looking at the wrong label. It wasn't from the 80s. That was the one from the 80s. This New York City Police one is from the 50s, late 50s. And then there's another one here that's got the radio on the back, the equipment for the radio. And this is the BSA model A10, introduced in 1950.
I'll take it these have the long style seat that we're used to seeing.
No, these have got like this particular one there has got like the cycle seat. And this one here is from 1965. This is a Triumph Saint Police model. Again with the radio equipped on the back. Here we've got a Rickman Matisse police motorcycle developed in the late 60s by Rickman Engineering. And we've got a 1975 Norton 850cc Commando Interpol police machine. There.
Sounds quite official.
And then we have a 1983 Norton Interpol 2 police model here. Next to it, we can see that. And next to it, we've got another Norton, but this is for paramedic from 1991, which was the London Ambulance Service model. So the first responder could to get to the incident more quickly.
Yeah, I was going to ask what a paramedic could do with the.
Well, they've got room for things in the back, on the back of it.
You're just not getting someone on there with you, but that's.
No, but it means they can get there quickly and start administering whatever's needed, doesn't it?
It does, yes, until the ambulance shows up.
So here we've got an AA motorbike, and it says Chater LEA. I don't know what year that's from, but it's got the motorbike and it's got a sidecar, which I guess would have had the tools in it. And then next to it, oh, there we go, it says it's a 1936 AA road service combination. And next to it, we've got the RAC one, which is from 1960, and that also has the sidecar next to it where they'd have kept all the tools.
What would stop them from falling up?
Because it's got a lid on it.
Oh, okay.
Stops them getting wet as well. Now this one has to be from the 60s, yeah, 1964
How could you
aerial
tell?
leader, because it looks like the sort of bikes that the mods would wear in the mods and rockers time. Well, not wear. It looks like the sort of bike that the mods would ride in the mods and rockers time
Ah,
in the 60s. So we're into Hall 5 now, which is where the racing motorcycles are. So these ones are from the 50s. Looks like a bullet. It's called Nero. And it says at Brighton in 1958, George Brown on Nero covered the standing kilometre in 19.29 seconds and with a terminal speed of 186 miles per hour, and he became the fastest man on two wheels. But it actually looks like a bullet, the shape of it, sort of. Now that one there just looks like a rocket. So it goes from there right the way to there, and it's called the Gillette Mach 3 Challenger, and it's the fastest motorcycle of the 20th century, and it had an officially timed run at 330.639 miles per hour in September 1999, and it made Richard Rocketman Brown's Mach 3 Challenger the fastest motorcycle of the 20th century. Stretching the definition of a motorcycle, it definitely does, because it's very stretched. It's 8 metres long, and it's propelled by 3 rocket motors, giving the equivalent of 6,000 brake horsepower. It runs on a hybrid fuel of liquid hydrogen peroxide and solid HTPP. And it says the 330 mile per hour plus run was at Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, USA, where he was towed up to 60 miles an hour before retracting the stabilisers and letting rocket power take over. Troubled by poor salt conditions and tyre problems, he was unable to make a return run in the opposite direction within an allotted time needed to set an outright world record, then a two-way average of 322.15 miles per hour. that is quite a motorcycle. Say stretching the word, literally.
Super cycle.
Yeah. And then at the back, we've got the orange one. We've got the 1970-750 Norton Streamliner, which is the world's fastest Norton. It had an aggregate of 2 runs in opposite directions of 208.729 miles per hour. Hi, we've done our visit to the National Motorcycle Museum. There is a disabled person price to go in, and you can get a carer ticket too, but you must have a carer card to prove that you're carer. Apparently they've had a lot of abuse of people just waving a blue badge about and expecting that they can be let in for free as a carer, so you need to get an actual carer's card now. The museum itself is really interesting. There are hundreds of motorbikes ranging from the early 1900s to the early 2000s, so 100 years of motorbikes literally. You're not allowed to touch the motorbikes. However, the lady who was really helpful said that she would see what she could do, so John could feel, and so you got to feel a couple of motorbikes, didn't you, John?
I got to feel a couple of them, and then was able to actually climb on one as well.
And sit on one, and as if you were going to ride it. And then you gave everybody heart failure by tooting the horn.
I wanted to see if it worked.
It worked. It worked very well. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give us a thumbs up, and if you don't already, please hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss one of our weekly uploads again. Thank you so much for joining us, and we shall see you next time. Bye.